Hey! Thank you for joining us. The conversation is starting to be weird. Welcome to Drakenmemoria.
Definitely not my fault.
Really? Well, you didn't start it, but you sure were finishing it. So,
Well, what can I say? I always know how to finish.
yes. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say fortunately or unfortunately. So, welcome to Drakenmemoria. If you're wondering what this is going to be, it's supposed to become Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, go finish somewhere else. Oh, good heavens.
Or if you can't do that, I'll finish it for you.
Do you have to blur your camera now? So, but if you want to see how this is going to become Dungeons and Dragons, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. If you like the thunderstorm in the background, it's Ambient Mixer. If you like the world map, it's WonderDraft. If you like the dungeon map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. And if you like to have new viewers, come on, I'm not even. We're not even 20 minutes in, and we're already getting spams for free viewers. Come on, have some class at least. All right, hold on. How can
I mean, I also know how to get free viewers. I just, I think viewers come in.
Yeah, but I also would like to have a second stream after. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and the last one is Canvas of King for town and village map. Maybe city maps, I don't know. I'll try. Of course I'll try, but we'll see if I'll succeed.
Do or do not.
There is no drug. So, publicity. We're supposed to be Dungeons and Dragon. Introduction. What happened last episode? Here we go. Alright, so, what happened last episode?
We burned down a forest. We murdered many extant animal species and plants.
How many times do I have to say it? It's not because you have done something in the future that when you come back into the past, you have to spoil it for everyone.
Oh, sorry. I mean, we didn't do that yet.
So, last episode, the party went back to the garden. Yay! In hope of finding safety. As well as finding someone to upgrade weapons and finding new information on what is truly going on around them. Because there is a weird web of manipulation that seems to be tracing itself in the background, and who is at the center is not clear. Everyone seems to be pulling everyone's strings. So who's the mastermind behind all of this? Fortunately.
Who is the spider?
Yeah.
Who is the Spider-Man?
Spider something. Fortunately, one way of exploring the past for answer is available to our adventurers. They can mercilessly explore the traumatic past of their party through magic.
I mean, look, if you can't exploit your friend's trauma, what is it for?
Yeah. As well as reopening old wounds, because those you got to make sure that they were properly healed. So the only way to do that is to open them again. Look inside, make sure that it wasn't infected, then close them again. Then watch your friend cry as they slowly heal back.
Because you didn't give them the courtesy of anesthesia or numbing agents or...
Well, no, actually, they did give you the numbing agent. It's called blacking out because someone punched you until you stop moving.
Doesn't work very well.
I mean, in some ways, that
works.
can be a cure for trauma.
Yeah, well, it works very well until you wake up.
It's like if you get knocked so senselessly that you've just completely forgotten what you were traumatized by, and you'll just go through life completely normally.
The bliss of ignorance, or third concussion.
Deja, not deja.
Death of your favorite dog. What dog?
What's a dog? Alright, so I believe that we ended last episode while we were rummaging through Remy's memory, making him relive through painful moments of his past in the hope of finding clue about who's pulling whose string inside of all that weird web. You had gone through all but 5 questions that you can ask Terry to push further inside. You had realized that the probably Dragonborn who kept coming back to visit, who had brought Remy there as an egg, and sold them, was also aware of at least another element of the same prophecy that you've been trying to prevent your enemy from fulfilling. Which means that they probably know something more. And maybe Remy's captor also knows something more. But for now, that is mostly what you know. So, where else do you want this memory dive to go? You'd ask for a moment conversation that Remy might have overheard, which might have sounded strange, or having elements which might connect with something that you might know, or something like this. And that's what had been brought back. So now, you gotta decide, where do you want this memory dive to go from here?
We had 5 questions left, right?
Yeah.
If I was aware.
5 times that you can dive deeper.
Okay, and we'd already tried to see if you could see where the entrance was, which we got a brief location.
Yes, when he escaped, you had an image of a swamp, which is, at least at that time, was right at the bottom of the hill or the mountain from which Remy came out of as he was escaping. And it's the same thing as... Well, okay, my phone is dying. That's okay. Yeah, so he's... And it's the equivalent of having seen a place once. So if you want to teleport, it's at that level of risk.
Yeah, okay.
Outside of this stuff, have we made any, or is it the garden made any progress of finding where Bahanor was? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, we have an idea of where it might be located.
All right.
Or where It was at the northern, like near this giant lake, I think. In the north, we have an idea.
There also currently is an expedition that is being put together because rumors of this have also started to appear because of the coins that Remy gave.
Yes.
From Bahamon.
From what we can actually get from Remy's memories, I don't have that many more questions, or I don't think I can think of that many more questions to ask, because we've already gone down the route of listening on conversations about the magical objects. We've covered his escape route and where the location might be. Yeah, we used all our questions on that. I'm not exactly sure if someone else has an idea, maybe, but I don't think audience at the moment has any more questions because he's not sure.
I'm surprised that people didn't get red flagged about being really interested in Ramey's training.
Oh, I thought we asked one about that.
No, we went down a different rabbit hole for that. Or we went down a different rabbit hole among 3 options.
Yeah, it was a week. I can't remember if we had done that one or we just done the magical object one. Okay, yes, then that is a question.
There was more of an emphasis on like what conversations Remy might have overheard with respect to, like the focus on magic items and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not
yeah. That's what I couldn't remember is if we'd gone down that one or okay. Cool. So yeah, let's go down. Let's use some questions going down that one.
So, that would be memories overhearing conversations about Remy specifically.
Yeah, and Ramy's possible connection to his training or this figure.
Yeah.
At least for whatever reason, they seemed interested in it.
Yeah. So let's see if we can delve into any memories Remy might have about that.
All right. So you start asking Remy questions about, well, how do you ask Remy? Because it's his surface thoughts that are being triggered. That's what's helping you do this. So what question exactly do you want to ask Remy to push him on that direction?
Do you remember your master ever talking or communicating with other people about you and the progress of your training?
Okay.
Turns out, terrible juggler.
Jeez Louise, I hope you
sucks at making scrolls. You should know all this, but he keeps messing them up. It's almost like he's doing it on purpose.
So...
This isn't a Misty Step scroll. This is a Misty Stop.
You just go, but you didn't move. Damn it!
It's a worse feather fall. It immediately stops your momentum.
And then you catch back the distance that you were supposed to have fallen. So you just go,
yeah.
No, it's not feather fall. It's brick fall.
Yeah,
it's like
it stops you. It doesn't protect you from that sudden stop in.
So it's like the same as hitting a brick wall. You just don't
except,
have the brick wall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're falling, it's like you landed. Except
Your
you
whole
haven't
body hits the
landed
brick
yet.
wall at once.
Or what if that's actually more of like a Looney Tune situation where you jump off the edge and
Just don't fall
As
yet.
long, as long as you don't look down, you don't fall. All right. So,
okay, I'm done shit posting. Please continue.
so your memory goes back to different moments where obviously your master tried to have you do different things. And because of your Kanku predisposition, some things obviously became clear that they weren't going to be something you would easily be able to do. It remained in forgery, but they tried to have you create minor object, magical trinkets. Unfortunately, because you can only duplicate something you've seen, it was easy to realize that you were just copying them because they were all identical. Exactly the same. So anyone that would have gotten into a shop and looked at something, you would have realized, hey, why is there 5 of them that are exactly the same? So there was...
Reproduction value.
So there was a bad, awkward moment there when your master, hoping that he had found a way to make a lot of money, was very disappointed because a merchant unfortunately came back very angry because someone realized that for some reason the magical object your master had been selling them, which were supposed to be part of a unique collection, were all labeled number 2, which didn't go really well. But there wasn't a whole lot. As an adult, Remy, you sort of think you can recognize the emblem of a guild you've seen in an island chain. Your island chain, where they're a guild that mostly work with forgery objects, scams, minor cursed object. Your memory of this at that time was a bit blurry because you weren't paying attention to what those emblems were. But you think you can... They sort of look like something you know. So there's that. After that, they tried to have you work with potions. Unfortunately, you seem to be lacking the imagination to make them more appealing. That little extra thing that would make someone go, oh wow, that must be a really good potion. Look, there's glitter inside. Because, he said, put some glitter inside. So you only put glitter inside. All of them.
For some reason, just really loved glitter.
Yeah, it was all pink little glitter inside of false healing potions. You are supposed to use your imagination, which is where your master eventually realized that was a really bad idea with you. To, embellish them, make them feel like, oh, you should really buy this, it's going to be special. He told you to use different colors. And, well, you have no imagination. So you were given the 3 primary colors for liquid coloring with no properties, really just the equivalent of food coloring, but for that time. But you have no imagination, so you can't make green mixing blue and yellow. You just had blue, yellow, and red potions. Again, you see a few guild images. Some of them are, you think, but once again, you weren't paying attention at that time. So most of those guild emblems are blurry in your mind. And, all of you're looking at them and you sort of have that moment of, hey, I think I've seen that before. Doesn't it look like an sort of an eagle with a horn on its head? And then you hear audience go, no, that's not an eagle. That's a unicorn that doesn't have a horn on its head. It's just a triangular nose. So you have that brief moment of trying to argue, is it a horse? No, it's a rabbit. Now, of course, well, are we kind and do we say that Jorg has been with inside of this call all along? He just said nothing up until now, or he's not part of the call? You're muted, Sam.
He wouldn't have cared about all the dumb arcane magic stuff we were talking about earlier, but then we would have brought him in.
Remy really want me in his head?
No, Remy doesn't want you in his head. I'm asking if the others included you.
I just think it would be hilarious if, for whatever reason, like Jorg went to sleep and somehow he woke up in Remy's head, just like a very unwanted visitor.
When you cast Rory's telepathic bond, you included him without asking him because he was sleeping. He failed the save, and so he wakes up and why am I in an underground base somewhere? Why does it smell so bad?
Was it the bard? Are we back in time?
Back in time.
Well, it's time to get racist again.
Well, I was just going to say, of course, for you, Jorg, there's an element that probably triggers bad memories for you because Remy has been involved with, at least they try to have him involved with making potions, which is sort of the reason why everything bad happened in your life. You were trying to circumvent the making of potions. The selling of potion at stupidly high price in your own island chain. And you tried to take a plant which would grow like weed and make your own potion empire somewhere else, undercutting them and helping the world. You just didn't realize just how aggressive that plant was. But there is an element there which probably would have you go just, thank God he's bad at improvising. And then Remy hears it, and then suddenly you go blind inside of that memory because Remy doesn't like what happened, and
Oops.
Someone drank a cayenne potion and shat nothing but green for 3 weeks.
Yeah, for some reason, someone drank one of your healing potion filled with pink glitter. And the glitter is so persistent that they peed glitter for a week. So
Needless to say, they were very popular at the brothels.
Yeah. Depend on which one, but yeah. So they tried to have you do a lot of forgeries. They even tried to have you embellish normal equipment Your master tried to see if you would create artistic etching on daggers. Oh, okay, maybe there's a reason why you've became a rogue after all. Daggers? They're small, and you were small. Fine hands. You can duplicate drawings. Sam fell asleep, I think. You can duplicate drawings. But you had to mix them together, this drawing and this drawing, so they didn't all look the same, and that's where it all fell apart, because you're a Kenku. You have no imagination. So, once again, finally, when your master decided to have you duplicate scrolls, and you realized that all you had to do was to take a perfectly good scroll and add a line on one thing here, a dot at this point. It completely ruined the spell, and because Remy was copying, he was essentially just copying what was there and created a perfect copy of something that didn't work with minimal effort, and it was actually good that you were just making it exactly like that 10 times in a row. Because that's what someone would expect when he buys a scroll. It's a good thing that they're all exactly the same, because now you can be sure that they're all going to do the same thing. So finally, that's how you got settled on scroll making. Seemed to be perfect. And along with that, when you start thinking about that, there's a lot of moment bringing you back inside of a library that you've grown to hate. Pretty large, with lots of desk. Empty desk. Where you were sent there hours after hours, trying to learn more about scrolls, parts of scrolls, and then joining them together in the room that was just next to it. Inside of your, well, here we'd call it a cubicle, but there, isolation chamber.
A privacy screen.
Yeah. And that's how you ended up doing that. But you also realize, it's sort of a realization of Remy as an adult versus Remy as a child. Oh, that's why I like daggers and knives so much. I didn't realize it. I played with them enough. Okay. That's why you like red gems so much. The red paint. You used it a lot. And finally, it makes sense that you became the thief that you are today, with arcane knowledge, because of all those scrolls and those research and those elements that you've memorized, which essentially have been fueling your arcane research for the past 5 years. Give or take a few months. So, anything in all of this that you'd like to dive deeper inside?
I mean, in particular, for whatever reason, like the dragon individual was curious about that training.
Yeah.
It's like, because there was a specific conversation, because I think we honed in on 3 different conversations at 3 different times. We went down one avenue, but then there was that one. It's I wonder if there would be some interest in seeing like where that conversation like led, or if there were any similar conversations throughout Raimi's stay.
Yeah, because we don't care about anything.
Don't care about the
we
whole
only-
thing. I don't want to know
Yeah.
what you did in your past. Come on.
I
Why
don't
do I
give
want
a
to
shit
know
about
that?
this Dragonborn dude. Yeah, I mean, Remy, can you remember more specifics of those conversations between your master and the Dragonborn where they were talking about your training?
Winds up being like hours long complain fests.
No, actually,
The roast of Raimi.
oh, okay. There's a bunch of image that just pile themselves in Remy's mind when you ask this question. But two of them seems to come out just a little bit more. One of them you realize that Remy, the Dragonborn, at least you think he's a Dragonborn, the hooded figure with a Dragonborn accent, had a lengthy conversation with your master, but he was bringing in someone else with him. Sort of like a contact. I know these people, they might be interested in. And they were relevant to things that you were doing at that time. One of them was when you were trying to copy a small magical object. And you realize that this person was a merchant that kept mentioning a variety of places. Now, through your mind, through your young Kenku mind, they didn't mean anything. So you didn't fully register them. But today, as he's talking about them, there are elements which feel familiar to how Tobiyashi talks about temples, the way that he describes them, the way that he names them. You do recognize that he has a slightly different accent than you when he talks about the name of temples. And so now, today, you sort of have that element of, oh, I think I recognize that kind of pronunciation, that kind of way to name temples. But the name of the temples, because you didn't know what they were, because you didn't know that was actually a word that they were saying, they didn't stick in your mind, at least not in surface thought, something that you can bring up by yourself.
The thing is that like maybe while he was still learning an accent, it's like a word doesn't sound like the word it's supposed to be. So it's like, well, that's nonsense, even though it's just simply saying temple instead of temple.
Yeah. The second conversation, which feels also kind of similar, is when he was bringing a merchant which specializes itself in potions. He claimed to be an alchemist, very adept at creating potions, and he was specifically looking for not complete scams, just potion of lesser efficiency. So that people kind of wouldn't get healed completely or healed only temporarily, which would bring them back a few weeks later to buy more. Or not completely heal a wound, which would get them to bring back come back to buy a second one.
It's actually called a potion of wheeling. It only gives you 1 hit point.
That conversation feels slightly weird. It didn't take too long before your master convinced the Dragonborn and the merchant that you wouldn't be able to do something like this because you can only copy recipe. If they try to tell you just reduce the efficiency, you wouldn't know what to do with that. But it's the emblem. The emblem just sticks in your mind, and you're not sure if it's sticking in your mind because of you or because of one of you listening in. But
York.
But it feels like he kept trying to talk about fire roads, which, Jorg, for you would mean something. The Fiery Rose Guild. The Fiery Rose Guild. The actual guild which you tried to attack openly by doing this, by creating actual potions.
When you say attack, you mean in the market, essentially?
There was that.
Attack via capitalism.
Like, my business is under attack. What, by terrorists? No, competition.
I was just like, I don't remember.
I mean, I did steal like a lot of their supply and then run away.
So you did actually go
still
physically steal from them. Okay.
Wait a minute, where's my weed? Someone stole my stash.
George did try to hinder their efforts. But as far as we know, Remy and Jorg didn't grow up on the same island. So maybe another branch of the same guild, or it's not the same guild at all. Like I said, Remy did not know it was something. So all his mind keeps popping up is fire and rose. Fire and rose.
Wait a minute. How do we know that Jorg is a human?
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
Well, that's the thing. The emblem itself is kind of blurry because Remy did not know at that time that those were emblems for guilds, which very often are as elaborate as coat of arms for nobles. So it's a bit blurry in his mind. So those two conversations kind of pops up. And they pop up also because they do seem to affect two people which have been in your group. One is still there, and the other is taking care of kids somewhere else in another monastery. But he was, at one point, targeted by all of this. So maybe that's why Remy thought about those. Because they affect his present in some way. Or maybe those conversations were really different. Again, part of the conversation
Or maybe
sounds strange.
Maybe the Fire Rose were using that island to farm it because it was native there, and then shipping it off the island. Problem.
Oh,
Island chain.
George, I
So
guess.
that where I wasn't getting any of the supply. Huh?
I was just gonna say, like, the whole point is that basically choosing one of these conversations to focus on, and then we could maybe actually learn more about it.
Oh yeah.
Even though
Like,
Tobiyashi,
we don't have to wonder.
even though Tobiyashi is not an active player right now and probably won't be for the rest of the campaign, there is still value in asking question about it because it can still get you to learn something from what is happening in the background. So there's value in both. What do you decide?
What do audience and Fisher think? Weird potion conversations or weird flower conversations?
Mm-hmm.
Feel like you're. I think those are the same conversations.
Yeah.
Weird potions are pretty relevant in the Dragon
Audience
Cult
would probably lean more
schemes.
towards the potions, because of that. I don't know about Fisher.
The last time we did this, did we have a vague memory about investigating the slow die of old age potion? Did we do that
At least not.
in Raimi's memory?
At least
No, not Raimi's memory. Our
Okay.
interrogee. Because we were using this method to do an interrogation into that guy's mind, hoping to gain insights into that potion.
Okay.
And then we went on a separate adventure. Well, actually, that first one led to a whole adventure because of mental dungeon, whatever, weird dungeon. And then as a second thing, we went into Raimi's memory, mostly because everybody was just trying to figure out, Raimi, how the fuck do you fit into all this?
Yeah.
So, merchant visiting monasteries or merchant selling potions? Which one do you want to dive deeper in? And more importantly, what question will you ask?
I'm still leaning towards merchant selling potions.
All right. I can't decide so well.
Drugs it is.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So, you try and dive deeper inside of this moment, this conversation, this single merchant. Burning one more question. So, the conversation becomes clearer, drudging through your memories, these moments, making everything more intense, more clear, as they were when this happened. You sort of have this moment where life become once again vivid for that specific moment. And you remember that you just managed to blow yourself up trying to duplicate the potion. So your ears were still ringing a little bit and you had no eyebrows at that moment. You still felt the sting of
Or I guess like ridge feathers,
Ridge
or
feathers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are Remy's apples?
just like a. It's like a where's that weird art rendition of Raimi with like very elaborate eyebrows, and we'll throw in a mustache and beard while we're at it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm looking at your picture as an adult. I don't know if yeah, we can see it on the camera. So I'm looking at your picture as an adult. I'd say well, you probably had no feathers on your head then. You know, copy of a bald eagle.
Damn.
An actual bald eagle.
Prissy bitches.
So you were feeling that breeze on your skull this morning after having nearly blown yourself up trying to duplicate a potion. The emblem becomes clear, and the merchant talking also becomes very clear. It is the Fiery Rose Guild, and they were trying to find other ways to, exactly as I said, to lessen the efficiency of potions. They mostly managed to completely cover the island where you were, and you kind of, it's sort of weird because Remy was a child at that moment, but you, Jorg, you know, you were maybe 13 or 14 years old. How old is Remy right now? Is Jorg right now?
It was like, fuck, I don't know.
Late 20s.
Hold on. I have your. Okay. We have your
52.
image officially. Yeah, you might be right. You can say somewhere between
Hey, it
mid
looks a
and
little
late
older.
20s.
Maybe.
Damn,
Mm-hmm.
you're the eldest of the group.
Early 30s.
No, because I would have asked you to
an old
justify why
man.
you're 30 years old and level 1. Unless you decided to start your
I was a late
adventuring days
bloomer.
really late in your life, mid-20s is probably the latest that I'll say makes sense.
Well, you see, he'd just have the fighter backstory,
Mhm. Yeah, late
wife,
20s.
kids, and then everything changed when the Fire
Yeah.
Nation attacked.
Well, you know, I am learning that specific game system could actually say that at one point. So yeah, so it's kind of weird because this happened 5 years ago, which would place you at near the end of your evolution as a priest, because that's what you wanted to be initially. You were learning to be a priest, and you were nearly at the moment of becoming a level 1 priest. So you were at that time where you were getting really frustrated. You had already tried a few times to hinder them, to destroy their merchandise, try to expose what they were doing. So it's kind of weird because now you're learning what they were trying to do while you were doing that. And you can't help but to feel that maybe that's the reason why they're there, trying to hire Remy to make less efficient potion, because you have been exposing them to make false potion. So now they're trying to make real potion that are less efficient. So maybe you're a bit responsible for Remy's blight.
Oh no.
Like always.
Oh
An island chain away, and you're still responsible for his nightmares.
No.
But it also gives you a very late confirmation that, okay, they really were trying to do exactly what you thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
But that also means that they're involved. Not just that. The Dragonborn, the hooded figure with the Dragonborn accent, is the one that tried to introduce them to that wizard. So he had connections with Remy's master. He had connections with those who made the hell of your life. Fortunately, you can't know, unless you find them, how much more involved they were. With this, you only have confirmation that one person knew both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
They kissed once, but hey, it was dark. And again, one of them would see in the dark.
So, it's not a lot, but once again, the hooded figure seems to be very involved in making your life a living nightmare and making your life a living nightmare.
It's all personal.
Mm-hmm.
Dude just specifically hates
I
you.
definitely feel like. Mm-hmm. My I got the long end of the stick on that one though.
Oh, now he's bragging about how long his stick is.
Well, you know, he's not bragging anymore. He's got a staff.
I think he's bragging about having less childhood trauma.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jorg. We can't all be blessed.
I'm sorry, I'm a rogue. It had to come somewhere.
I didn't think I was bragging at all.
Let me guess. Your next thing you're going to tell me is that you grew up with both parents.
Ugh.
No. That's okay. I didn't need parents.
Oh, I see
I had
how
an
it
old lady
is.
whose name I
You
forgot.
don't need parents. Well, what do you
Oh, no.
fucking do?
Yeah. Parents are overrated. Saying that as being without parents and is a parent. They're useless. You don't need them.
Well, that's okay, Fisher. You have a whole buttload of brothers and sisters, and half of them are really weird.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we already talked about this before, but like among all the party members, Audience is the only one who gained trauma after he started adventuring.
Audience didn't really have any trauma when he started adventuring.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is that
Typical paladin.
when you became an adventurer and began adventuring, you
Well-
then start to accumulate trauma, as opposed
Yeah.
to starting with it right off from the gate.
Yeah.
Well, in retrospective, it kind of feels like he was groomed all his life. So was it really without trauma? Or just that he didn't realize it was trauma?
Well, I mean, then again, that's like more of a societal thing, like and less on like a personal level.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Like everybody was kind of being raised to be a child soldier / con artist ish. I'm not sure what to describe at this point. The members of Audience's Village.
cult members.
There's not really one word that sums it up.
It's cult camp. You know, they couldn't live in the Dragonborn
Just a small
capital
religious
city.
town.
Yeah, they couldn't live in the Dragonborn capital city, so they built a walled town outside, and that's where he spent his life. Oh wow, he was raised in a cult.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City when it was founded.
All right, so now we got our confirmation. Audience didn't know he had trauma because he was raised in a cult. He just learned it after leaving the cult. Years after. So, now you have that little element that says your stories are linked together by this dragonborn with an accent, which you know has also visited Tobiyashi's monastery at one point. He's been everywhere, that guy.
Everywhere.
And didn't he name drop the Predator captain
He did.
at some point?
Yes.
Was that in a... That was
At
in...
the monastery? At the monastery, we figured that
Okay.
out.
Yeah. I was trying to remember that one. Okay.
So he is also linked to you, Fisher.
Oh.
That person seems to be responsible for nearly all of your blights. Audience is the only one that seems to have been spared by that dragonborn accent person.
He is the Dragonborn accent person.
Oh, we lost
That's it.
Remy.
Oh God!
He was like, that's it. That's the last straw. I can't handle audience being the bad guy.
Actually, that's a good question. What happens if the person inside of whose mind you are suddenly goes into a coma? Does exactly that happen?
I don't know.
Oh shit, we
Did
pushed
we get
too
locked
hard.
in the coma with him?
We pushed too hard. Alright, do we have any questions left, or was that all of them?
You have 4 more questions.
Oh, that was only... Oh,
Yeah.
that whole thing was only one? Oh, okay. I didn't know if we used...
Well, okay. I think I'm gonna try and just in case it takes a little bit of time before Remy comes. Oh no, okay, good.
Oh, he's-
No, it's sort of one question that confirmed a variety of things simply by making sure that everything was clear and crisp.
Okay.
Hey, I don't think Remy realized that he wasn't there anymore. You're muted.
No, I did. I just
Okay.
decided to walk around a bit before I heard the ding that I was back at Discord.
Okay. Okay, so any more questions?
I guess we could ask about the other thing we saw, the flower people. But it might just be the same stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
the
that
emblem
was the
was
same
a was a rose, so it was a flower.
Yeah.
That
So,
was
yeah.
the same stuff.
So
I
I
mean,
think
we
it's
could
just
ask
the same stuff.
temple stuff. But
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, the temple, the other one we didn't go into.
Like, where'd you get your accent? I don't have an accent.
But I think this line is just leading us to we're all connected to this guy, which I don't think we're gonna get more.
So, do you want to ask the last question? Do you want to ask one question about this to have that confirmation, or do you feel like you're sure enough that you don't need to ask that question to get the confirmation?
I feel fairly sure enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turns out the temple conversation. Yeah, so like I was looking around for this feather, this shadow, and this and this unbreakable mind. Like, where am I gonna find those? Oh, let me tell you, bruh.
To be fair, I think if they knew that clearly where they could find them, the shit would have been over a long time ago.
Yeah. I was thinking about asking a question following up about when that guy asked about Bahanor.
Okay.
And if they ever found it. But like if they did in Remy's memory, that would have been long enough ago that it would be too late at this point.
Yeah. Also, I think we have a good sense they haven't found it yet. Or if they, nothing major has occurred from, because we went back in the dreams. I don't know.
Like I'm actually more imagining just a really drunk conversation and that someone being eerily correct despite having no foreknowledge whatsoever. I'm not sure if any of you guys ever watched the Good Place.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing with Doug Forsyth, just like high on shrooms and
just guessed it.
So yeah,
got like 90% right.
So there could be validity to the element of maybe they already found that one, because you have sort of a indirect confirmation that they tried a way to capture the essence of something and to freeze the potential of a moment, which both of those things can be used to take the two other trophies than the feather. Which means the feather is the only one that you've never had a confirmation that they actually found or not found, or are trying to find it, or know where it is. They just need to retrieve it. The feather is the only one you have had. Let's start that phrase again. The feather is the only one that you have never had any confirmation that they have or do not have it.
I mean, me personally, I think it's more of a Schrodinger's box situation where we will know whether they have the feather after we have already gone back to find it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll literally figure out which timeline we're on when that...
So yeah, it's
or rather,
possible.
we will get a timeline.
I may just be trying to force you to waste a question. You know I will do both. Try to steer you in the right direction and in the wrong one.
I mean,
steers are for queers.
So, 4 more questions. Where do you want to go with those? You don't need to use them all if you don't want to.
I mean, if we are gonna go, Remy, what do you remember about his tower's defenses?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That you probably had to learn before trying to escape.
like, well, first of all, at the entryway, there are 2 levers.
Yeah.
One of them.
Well, that's an interesting question. Your mind, you weren't all that proficient back then with everything that was magical. So all you get in your mind and your surface thoughts when you think about this is every single lever, every single knob, every single glyph on a wall, a few torches which looked weird from your perspective. Half of those are probably normal. The other half,
The knob of everlasting shine. It's like no matter how many times the doorknob is used, you'll never have to polish it.
you do remember that to escape, you grabbed a crate which was in the room where you did most of your work, the laboratory. From there, the first one that you realized was minor illusion allowed you to run through the corridor at the on the other side of that door, all the way to the hallway, which would lead directly to the exit. And from there, there were 2 extremely sturdy doors. One, you used the 3rd scroll on it, which was a misty step, which you used to just jump through it and to the other side. And the final one, you blasted open with the little object that you didn't know what it was, and you just used it, hoping it would do something. It ended up being some sort of lesser trinket of the ram or something like this, which allowed you to escape. So doors, there were probably magically sealed doors. They're most likely hallways that were hidden magically. And there's that scroll that just blew up somewhere else that you don't know what it was. It could have been the scroll which made something blow up, or it could have dispelled something which disarmed it and made it blow up. So there are possibly protection in corridors. Other than that, you do remember that there were a wide variety of alarms everywhere. For some reason, they always knew where you were. And you don't remember taking out some sort of tagging system or anything like this on you. So either you were wearing something enchanted with minimum range, or now that you know, there were a wide variety of alarm spells everywhere.
Or, they just put a glyph up his butt.
Well, knowing what you know now, that would have been extremely unpleasant.
I'm just saying, it's like, if we as a society have figured out how to keep track of like where our pets are, it's like, oh God. I'm actually sorry. I'm just realizing the implications of like how very different pre-Civil War like the United States would have been if they had that technology available at the time.
Damn.
The best place to make sure that you can never retrieve that little tracker is to put it in a long stick and shove it up somewhere where it's going to be really hard to get it back. You're welcome for the image.
Oh, I feel like that's a bad place to put it because it's just going to come out naturally.
Depends on how you push it inside.
Well, then again, the battery has to be, or it has to be like replaced or recharged at some point anyway. So
No, you use those that use a little isotope. You needed an exterior scanner, but a little isotope. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, there he is. So that's what your mind conjures up consciously, freely. Those elements. Probably a wide variety of alarm spells. Protections on doors.
an alarm that only goes off if your shoes aren't tied.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not at the level of the mage tower we were just in.
No.
But some more basic stuff.
Um,
Standard stuff.
Well, if I remember correctly, Remy, your master knew about was an arcane user, so some sort of wizard, just not a high level one. Because otherwise, he would have been able to make money a variety of ways, but probably wouldn't have cared all that much.
Well, also in fairness, it's like if your sole focus is gaining money and nothing else, I don't think you would necessarily go all out on your security. Just the bare minimum that you need to keep a hold of your stuff and make life hell for people trying to take it.
So, in all honesty, the entrance may be heavily protected, but once you're inside, it may go to a more relaxed kind of protection. But you'd have to go with a question and a lot of footage of Remy walking about everywhere to recognize glyphs, spells on the walls, and things like this. Do you want to use a question for that?
How many do we have left? 3?
4.
4. Sure.
All right. So
Obviously, there's the glyph of broken glass walking.
The only difference is that it's not called the glyph of broken glass. It's called the glyph of broken glass. It's just written in Elven, so makes it a little more poetic. So you use a question to force Remy to remember as he was walking through those hallways anything he might have seen. So you quickly realize that Remy has a very repetitive life. Getting up from where he slept, walking to what was the kitchen. Well, not the kitchen, the dining hall, eating, exiting a different door than he entered, being slightly aroused by walking in front of the kitchen where a lot of very strong men were preparing food. So aroused for the food there because he was hungry, and aroused for other reasons.
Food for the stomach and food for the eyes.
Yeah. The only missing thing is food for thought. he would walk down that corridor and walk past the door to the exit. Then he would need to make a choice. He would either keep moving forward and go to the library, turn right, which would lead him to the bathrooms, or turn left, which would lead him to the laboratory. And those were the rooms he just kept going to continuously. And one storage room. I'd say Fisher, you can probably make an Arcana roll to try and recognize any symbols that you might see on walls. Remy can assist you because he also knows the arcane enough.
Um, 26.
26, all right. You recognize a few elements, not a lot. The memory is precise enough so that you can see little shimmering lines on the floor, especially at the entrance and exit of the rooms where Remy would sleep, and probably where other people would sleep. You could see four other doors, like similar to Remy's door, during his entire trek through this place. So shimmering lines, which would probably indicate alarm spells. At the end of each corridor, there would be Magic Eye spell, which allowed someone to spy everything that happened to those corridors. So few divination spells. Still, not very strong, not very powerful. The door to the exit has several glyphs on it. One you recognize to lock it, one to trap it, and it's a good thing that Remy used Misty Step to jump through it, because you recognize a few exploding glyphs on the door. You recognize a few inactive glyphs on the floor, probably activated during the night, because they're sort of little sentry spells, low-level summoning spells, which would probably summon a small group of guardians, like monster summoning one. Either to defend against someone trying to get in, because most of those glyphs are in the main hallway leading outside, or making sure that no one inside of here tries to steal something and leave. But you've never seen them active as Remy is walking. So they're probably active at very specific moment of day. You recognize a little spell that's been placed on the in the bathroom. It's on the fountain. It's conjured water. Didn't want to waste time with a whole...
And if you look closely into the toilet, it's like several glyphs of prestidigitation.
So he didn't want... He made sure that the mountain was sealed. Or he didn't want to waste money building a sewer system under the whole thing. It's either of those can be accurate.
I mean, if you're a con man, you probably wouldn't want to invest too much in sprucing up a place you might have to leave at a moment's notice.
As a matter of fact, all of the walls are just covered with plain, very unsophisticated wood plank. So it has a bit of a ship cabin feel as you're walking through all of those hallways.
There are a few demotivation posters. It's like, you are nothing.
Don't hold on. Let go.
Freak out and run about.
You don't recognize anything inside the library other than a few spells to watch. Now, one room does catch your attention, and Remy would be able to tell you that it is where his master actually resided. Because when you went to the storage room, from the laboratory to the storage room, he had to go to cross a long hallway. And at one end of this hallway, there was a very normal door, so probably another person like Remy working in there. And on the other side, a very elaborate, very more prestigious door. And you do recognize several glyphs on there. Locking glyphs, exploding glyphs, spying glyph, alarm spells, which would make this room the most protected one that you've seen so far. Remy would have been able to tell you that he's been there a handful of time, and it was where his master was sleeping. Although every time he went there, it was to get a thorough beating and not praise. So,
I mean, we can't forget about the glyph of Conjure Belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst of it is that it lasts an hour, and it follows you everywhere. Now, there is the less impressive glyph of the same variety. It's the bathroom towel whip.
Like, where's that spell? Mordekainen's whipping towel.
Don't worry, I'm sure he made one. If you want it, it's not hard to find. I can make sure of it.
Tasha's mind whip. That's what it mentally. That's the feeling. Yeah.
When you say the difference is that this one, can travel, like last for a longer duration, moves around, and whips potentially multiple people.
And you have to have a bathroom towel worth at least 1 copper. Which means
Wet. Gotta be wet.
You can't replace it with magical focus because it has a monetary value. So you actually really need a bathroom towel. I can make that spell if you want it.
Though complete aside, that probably actually would be an improvement over Mordenkainen's sword if you did have the ability to attack creatures in a line, or that's a whole other thing though.
So those are magical protection alarms that you recognize as you follow Remy through his very repetitive daily schedule. So there are 2 doors, which feels like they were heavily protected. Unfortunately, the 3rd door to enter this whole place, Remy blew it up into pieces, so you're not sure. If the place is still active when you get there, you can't be sure of what's on that door. If it's not active anymore, well...
This is one of those things where Raimi never left the tower, right, until he escaped.
Yep.
This
He
wasn't
was
like
born in the tower.
we'd go out on errands kind of thing.
No, not even.
It's like I want you to imagine Dark Knight Rises Bane.
Mhm.
Only instead of coming out of that hole a badass. Well, I mean, Raimi's kind of his own badass, but
He came out of it
Mhm.
skinny and wielding daggers.
Yes, pretty much the same.
he didn't come out a badass. He just came out edgy.
Uh-huh.
Too many edges. But he did like rainbows once he knew what those were.
The two other doors are other exit doors.
Remy only knows of one exit and entrance.
Okay, and that's the one he blew up.
Yeah.
All right.
There might be more, but Remy doesn't know that. So
Uh-huh.
so
Can we go? Was this us going deeper, or is this
Yes, that was
right?
us.
Yeah,
That was us going deeper
yeah,
because we had to use another question.
yeah.
now I want to. Hold on. Oh, there it is. I feel that
Unless
I must make underline something. With all of this, with what you just did, you have just given yourself a second point where you can try and teleport, which would be a very familiar one, because you've just watched Remy do his daily routine for a wide period of time. You've seen a lot of corridors, you've seen a kitchen, you've seen where he works and where he slept. Those would be very familiar level, not just seen casually, because you haven't seen the entire summary of Remy's existence.
Mm-hmm. So we
don't-
could try just teleporting straight into the tower.
Exactly, that could be a problem. But it is not as risky as viewed once. But you don't know exactly where you're teleporting yourself into. You could be teleporting yourself into an abandoned thief den. Or you could be teleporting yourself into an active conman workshop.
But oh,
If you use the image of the swamp that you had, you know that you're teleporting yourself outside, but it's viewed once. If you use what you've just seen, it's viewed casually, which has better odds. But you don't know exactly what is there anymore. So you could be teleporting yourself into an abandoned
he's not there
hideout
anymore.
or an active hideout.
uh-huh. And if we miss and get similar location, a swamp is generally less dangerous than inside a wizard's tower.
Yeah.
So
Although this wizard's tower seems less dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but isn't one of the things if you miss a similar location?
yeah, it's
And
one
so
possibility.
if we miss a similar location to
Oh,
a swamp,
and
another
miss
swamp is going to
location.
be less dangerous than possibly a different wizard tower.
Yeah, you mean us ending up back in the wizard tower we just left?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that straight up just wouldn't work because his protections are strong enough to just.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we could. It would have to be some wizard tower that wasn't against. It'd be some other low levels wizard's tower, probably.
Or we get caught by some wizard tower defense.
Or, you
I don't know how that
sort
works,
of teleport yourself inside of a low-level wizard working in a wizard tower. A school for wizard. Yay! A whole lot of teachers with a whole lot of students. All of them throwing a wide variety of spells.
Well, we could be like, hey, we didn't mean to be here.
Yeah.
But while we here, we did actually need some wizards for some questions. So let's lock in real quick.
It's like, if you help us, we'll tell you where to find the location of Moldywort.
So, I'm just letting you know, you have an alternative. More dangerous one to use, but more secure and easier to not find yourself somewhere else.
Less risky, but the
But more
bad
risky
stuff is
as
worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Less chance of bad stuff. Bad stuff is worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are getting near our break, so I want to, or the time that we normally take a break. So I want to ask: are we done with questions, or are we?
I think I'm good with.
I am also good.
You have a
Remy or
maximum of
George?
3 more questions if you want
Yeah,
something.
Remy or
I
George,
can't
anything
really
you want
think
to?
of.
Yeah. Remy or George, Adam, you want to ask anything that we haven't covered, or tell us to ask something since Remy, you technically can't.
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
So just so that you know, and it might hurt Remy, it might hurt Zachary if I say this, but the last 3 questions, if you want to have them, Terry's gonna burn his last 2 level 5 slot and the only level 6 slot he has to ask them.
Yeah,
just saying.
we don't need that.
Well, we're also
we're not doing anything else today, but he can practice.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're not leaving today.
There's no reason that we have to do all this stuff today anyway. So
Yeah.
unless
Alright,
you were just immediately, it's like, all right, guys, adventure time.
Well, if Tobiashi
No.
was there, that might happen. But
No.
We're not leaving until I have my sword.
No. Audience leaves to go infiltrate his church
Yeah.
without telling anyone.
That's okay. I'm not leaving.
Well, it wasn't involve you. It was just him and the assassin.
Yeah.
Audience is like, fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Well, technically, it may not be a bad idea to include Remy because he's a good rogue. Phenomenal rogue, actually. And Jorg because, he can transform himself into a mouse and you'll have access to magic. So the only one we don't need for this heist is Fisher.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
You
we're not
really
really.
want a really shiny, loud guy.
To be fair, we're not really doing the heist. All I was doing was distracting my high priestess while he sneaks into. Well, the assassin does the sneaking and takes the plans.
I
was
really,
just a
Fisher,
distraction.
it's a real shame that you're not like a bard or something, because you'd make like a perfect distracting DJ. Just like, just like sitting outside the temple, playing the sickest of beats.
Our job literally in this was to go in and talk to her and get them out of the room so he could get his guys in and take the stuff.
If we put that slime that made him all shiny on audience, do you think audience would be all shiny?
I don't think audience wants to be this shiny.
I don't. It's too shiny. Anyway, so I was saying before.
That's not what I was asking.
So we're done. So we're done with the questions.
Okay.
Confirm. Yes.
Yes.
It's like we are resurfacing from the rabbit hole.
Okay.
All
You're
right.
done with the questions.
You're coming back to reality. Terry ends the spell. You are once again slightly disoriented because, you know, when you're exploring through memories, you can explore. It's not in real time, so there's a little bit of a memory time distortion when you come back. And I feel like we've been inside of Remy's memory for 2 days. What time is it? What do you mean we've only been away for an hour? All right, so, well, we can go on a break because I feel like Remy, after all this, needs to go lie down in a fetal position and suck on his thumb for the next hour.
Yeah,
Or
standard
brains,
coping
Alan.
mechanism.
So we're gonna let him do that. And what kind of music does Remy want as he suck his thumb? Marsh or rain?
I think rain has got to be the
Rain. I mean, if you can't do crawling in my skin.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I would do it if we weren't live, but
I mean, hey, I have a bunch of fun with like musical
Copyright.
references in my game. Like my players go on a heist. Yeah, sure, Mission Impossible theme. Why the fuck not?
well, it is the advantage of not being live. Yeah, I do actually have a very wide collection of music, so I usually have a good repertoire. All right, so we'll be back in 15 minutes. Until then, have a good whatever kind of break you like taking in 15 minutes. So, see you in 15 minutes. Bye. Well, you know, it's always important to respect your computer. That's what we just learned.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't put your computer into a microwave.
Now, what everyone is wondering is who among us did that?
No, for science, guys, because science is really important to the future of our race. You need to put every metal thing you can find in microwaves, but when you do, you need to put your face really, really close to the door to see what happens.
And whatever does happen, write it down. It's not science if you don't write it down.
Yeah.
And it's considered a fluke
Or actually
unless you
have a
can
friend
redo it
nearby
again.
to write it down.
You know what?
Then you
Excellent, because then you have an impartial observer. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're
Make sure,
cooking
you
here.
have make sure you have an impartial observer.
And
Preferably someone with a phone that can call 911.
and since we
Yeah.
are talking about science, you have to be able to redo it again 3 times with significantly similar results. Otherwise, it's not going to be accepted by science as a fact.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you are going to need to figure out a way to get a third eye, because when the first 2 are taken out on the first 2 attempts, you're going to be in trouble, because you can't replicate the same results the third time.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you learn to open your third eye, in which case, well, that's a whole other experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would hinder the exactitude of the first experiment because you've submitted yourself to another experiment before doing the third attempt. So
You would have
Not to
ruined
mention
yourself
hats are
as
gonna
the
be awkward.
control group.
exactly, you need to convince 10 people to do it with you.
Yeah, you need to convince 10 people to open their third eye. Then,
And then, you know, you need to get a second group of 10 people that you're not going to give metal items, but plastic ones. It's your control group. Now, I feel like we have to say this just because it's the internet and it involves a lot of people. Don't put metal things in microwaves.
And for that matter, be mindful of the plastics you put in your microwave as well.
Yes. They're not all microwave safe.
Like
Usually
even if they
it's
do,
written on it if it's microwave safe.
and frankly, even if the plastic you are putting in there like holds up after being put in the microwave, there is a very real chance that it is leaching like plastic into whatever thing you're heating up inside of it, and then you're gonna eat or drink that. Don't.
Or give it to someone who's going to drink or eat it.
Still don't.
Yeah. I feel like...
Doesn't make it better just because.
Unless there's someone you don't like. Nah, man.
I think even then, it's a better idea to not do it.
It's like, where's that Shia LaBeouf cliff? Where it's like, but instead of just do it, like just don't do it.
Honestly,
don't.
I was thinking more of the oh shoot, I forgot the name of it. Oh well, it'll come back to me. But
At the most inappropriate time, which is the best time to say it. So,
anyway, D&D.
So, yeah, exactly. You all come out of this slightly disoriented, and Remy probably needs a few moments to recover. What time is it where you are? When did you try to do this? At the end of the first day, I think. You did all of your things, you went shopping everywhere. You blew up the needle for the experimentation, and then you did that. Alright, so it's probably very late at the end of your first day of vacation. Forced vacation. Forced unpaid vacation. I'm looking at you, boss.
I think it's forced in a way. I think there are certain places we can still go. I think it's just...
Yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely no chance that you're gonna find anyone with a bounty saying that you need to be brought in dead or alive. There's no chance at all whatsoever.
You're not making audience not want to go outside.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing I can say that would make it so that audience does not want to go outside. Well, you know, it's the apocalypse outside. Mages are everywhere. It's become their world.
It's true.
So that would I feel that one of two things would happen. Either audience would go outside in a murdering spree, or he would ask the garden if he can go back with them, because that world is lost.
No, he'd go outside. He'd be like,
You go
He'd
take
be
it
like-
back.
yeah, he'd be like, my time has come to retake the world for the mages. My purpose is clear.
Alright. So, what do you want to do with the rest of the time you're going to be spending in the garden?
The week.
Well, 3 days for Fisher.
Mhm.
Why only 3 days for Fisher?
Because he's having
how long
the
it's
Staff
gonna
of
take to make
Power
sword.
remade into a Sword of Power.
Oh. Audience really does not have a lot to do, to be honest.
Like the best part about this sort of power is that if you repeat the same word 3 times, it gets bigger and longer.
And all you have
And also
to
improves
say,
your perception checks.
all you have to say is, "I have the power."
Damn. Audience wouldn't do much. He'd go around the garden. He'd probably eventually go to the taverns. He'd hope he wouldn't run into, certain people at the taverns. And then he'd, go around.
You see Core at the bar rail. Goodbye.
Cora I'm fine with.
Right now, I think he wants to avoid Amyali for a few days.
I don't want to have an awkward conversation with her about why I was getting her sister involved.
It's gonna be okay in a week, but right now, I don't want to have that conversation.
Well, no, you see though, Core might just be like, "Oh, hey, while you're here, Amyali was looking for you. Hey, Amyali."
Also,
good
audience
here.
doesn't feel like having a conversation with most of the higher up party about how he thinks that it was better that they sacrificed a few hundred lives for the fact of obtaining this artifact that they got. He doesn't feel like getting into a "this is why I'm correct and you're wrong" argument.
Well,
You could be technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm just saying that I don't feel like having to justify why I'm rated.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Who can be interesting in the garden? Oh yeah, Zeal is currently missing.
Oh wait, there was a high wizard we wanted to, right?
Yeah.
About stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and find them. That's something I'd do in a week if I was stuck there for 3 days.
Okay.
Oh, it's 3 days, and you keep saying, "Oh, it's a whole week."
No, 3 days. But in 3 days, I would try and go find this wizard, or see if they were there at any point during those 3 days.
Audience is
This
like a
wizard
puppy
I've never
dog.
met.
Okay. Well, all right. The wizard inside of the garden.
The high level wizard. The elf that we've never met.
Speak
But
for
we know
yourself. You
exists.
took me apart and put me back together.
Well,
The elf that I've never.
that's the wizard of the garden that took you apart.
Oh.
Yeah, no. This is the wizard of the highest level wizard.
In
Or-
the garden. Yeah.
Yes, in the garden.
We're off to see the wizard.
All right. Okay. So, is there a reason for him to be here during the 3 days? There are no reason for him to be here during that day that's almost ending. There's a small reason to be there. And okay.
I saw this bounty outside for a Dragonborn, and I thought I recognized it. And sure enough,
He's there. Interesting. For some reason, during those 3 days, there's a human, that you've seen in the garden quite a few times, that comes to the tavern audience, and he asks you, "Would you mind stepping outside for a brief?" I have friends that I want you to meet.
they've been a little down on their luck. It's like, but they recently came into an opportunity to
think you
gain
can
some
help them.
funds.
Okay. So, do you just look for him, or do you try to reach him, or do you let the word inside
No,
of the
I just looked
garden?
for. I look for him. I wouldn't try to reach him.
Okay.
It's not that important.
Now, here's the question, and it's only relevant for me to ask it because we're talking about audience. Where does audience go in the garden to try and meet him? I wouldn't ask
When
Sam that question, but I feel like I should ask it to audience.
Well, I wouldn't go to the woods.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't go to the gnomes.
Okay.
I could technically hang around like high-end crystal and magical shops, maybe find him. I'd
Okay.
probably check those, see if that is actually probably where I'd start. I'd probably start at any of those shops, be like, "Hey, did this guy come by?" And then I'd also check the tavern to see if he went by there. Although I don't necessarily think that's where a wizard would hang out that much. But maybe if he was like looking to get a new quest, he might be there. And then I'd also probably check the library because I know wizards like books.
Okay. So, let's go with tavern. You don't see him in the tavern. The magical shops. Interesting. The library. Interesting. So, to let you know, I rolled the magic shop, normal roll. I rolled the tavern with disadvantage, and I rolled the library with advantage.
Okay.
It's actually during one of your moments where you're stalking the magic shops. You see a whole bunch of people, the normal people of the garden, as well as a few adventurers. You know, you see a few people that you really didn't know were there. It's sort of the first time that you're watching these shop, and you look at a half elf who's wearing gardening equipment. You didn't know
Maybe
there
they're
were
a druid.
gardens.
Or maybe they're a gardener.
Yeah. And that's when you realize, oh yeah, that's right. Every time I walk from the tavern through the arboretum and directly here, I do walk across a long field. Oh, it's probably one of the person tending to the field. And there are a lot more people living inside of the garden that you realized. You know, you're used to seeing the wardens and the sentinels, but yeah, that's right. There are people living here. Actually, there are more people living here than there are adventurers. Very educational, but eventually going through that educational moment and realization of things, you see him enter one of the shop that you're watching.
I would follow after. Do I know this guy's name? Do I remember his name from the list of heroes?
You've heard it on a few occasions, but I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah. That would be an intelligence roll, I guess. Audience has never been good with names, so we'll see. My guess is gonna be no, but we'll roll it anyway. Yeah, it's a 5. Audience does not remember this guy's name. But that's okay.
So, what you remember when you look at him, you sort of remember a gnome that kept calling him. But here's the problem: you know that gnomes tend to make nicknames because they have that long a nickname, or that many nicknames after their names, and a lot of time, a lot of people remember them more for their nicknames than their actual names. So, you remember a gnome calling him Lofi, but was that a nickname, or was it his actual
Yeah,
name?
I'm not gonna. Audience is not gonna use any name a gnome used. Gnome could have been insulted him for all he knew. And I don't know Elvish is one of my natural, so I don't know what slurs are in Elvish. I know Gnomish, so if he was talking to Gnomish, but not Elvish.
Well, you know that the word Lofi means something in Gnomish. It's it's one of those things that it's a type of music. But
Maybe.
yeah, it feels like an elven wizard wouldn't be called something that relates to a type of music in Gnomish. So it's either a nickname or a shortcut of a name kind of nickname.
Audience is not worried about it. He's just gonna follow in the.
Okay. So you enter into a little shop selling a wide variety of very fine magical components. The kind of things that you use white gloves and very fine handling equipment to make sure that you don't break it, that you don't put a print where you're not supposed to. Very delicate equipment. Everything. That's why you didn't expect him to find him where you were. You would have never thought of going to a shop like this, unless you wanted to buy a gift for a wizard female, which on its own, audience probably know the number of wizard female that he would like to buy on a gift, and they fit in the single hand.
They're solidly zero. We're just too different. Hobbies just wouldn't get along. Don't have enough in common.
Not even Ami Ali's sister?
Oh, well, yeah.
She's
is she
a
a
wizard.
wizard though? Audience doesn't think of her as a wizard. She's like a diviner.
The diviner is a wizard.
All these exceptions.
Yeah, audience has. Listen, the process audience goes through to make things work in his favor. Don't go through his mental process, okay?
Okay.
Let him define things as he wants to fit
Sure.
whatever he sees. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. She's an exception, it's sort of on the edge. It's half in audience's mind. It's half priest, half wizard. Diviners, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, he's seen Jorg do divination, so it's like maybe she's just automatically classified as druid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she smells better than him, so.
So a
There are
druid that
nice
knows where to
nature
find the
smells.
good flowers.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. So you enter the shop. You see him shopping for something.
audience will kind of just walk up to him like he's the best man, or he's a long-time friend. Because
So you say, "Hey!" by giving him a huge slap in the back.
not a huge slap on the back. He's like, wouldn't do that, but I'd be like, "My man, it's a good to see you." Because I would say "my man" because I don't know his
You
name.
don't know his name. Yeah. Classic.
He just raises one brow and slowly turned his head in your direction. Yes. And you would like to initiate a conversation with me for what purpose exactly?
Well, I heard you're kind of the shindig wizard around these parts, the one with the blammo in his fingers. And I got some magical tasks, important magical tasks I need some help with, and I feel like if you're the expert, you're the guy to come to.
Yes. Well, I don't know about who you've been talking to, but I'm pretty sure that only gnomes use those words to talk to anyone that has magic. So, are you here on behalf of a gnome or yourself?
Myself.
Alright. So, can you be more precise in what you want?
Yes. Basically, and I'll go through the process of what I want. I'll lay it all out for him. I'm like, yeah, so I want to take, this magical sword. I already got a list of ingredients here of the dust I'll need for this. I want to put it in this world over a long period of time. I'll kind of explain what the gem is. I want to make sure it's done safely as to not harm the people inside the gem because I was sworn to protect them. Then I want to purify this evil sword by using this more dust. And, and then I want also to be able to withdraw the sword and take it back on my person from the ethereal avatar state of whether I'd be back into the physical world as a purified holy avenger. Some simple stuff.
Run of the mill, really.
Yeah. For someone like you, I'm sure.
Well, I can definitely attempt it. It's going to take a little bit of preparation. Now, the biggest problem is if you want me to be sure that nothing bad happens to your little gem. I do admit that playing with such a gem is an interesting challenge. I've heard about them, but I've never had one.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, it is. But from what I've learned from them, I would be willing to help you and provide part of what I need for this.
I'd appreciate that. But no, yes, their safety is paramount. I will forgo the whole thing if I think that the people will be at risk because I was entrusted by a dear friend 10,000 years ago to safeguard her people inside this gem, and I have to make sure to keep that promise.
I have heard about this story. So it is true then. You did went
What
back,
is what true?
You did go back in time and brought back a handful of people that you saved from the fabled city of Bahanor.
We are the Time Knights, after all. That's kind of what we do.
Yes, you'd be surprised the number of people who call themselves Time something and actually has never actually traveled in time.
Can we, what's it called? Can we, can we make sure no one else is using our name? Is there a way to, patent this now?
I believe it would actually be a trademark.
Yeah, can we trademark this so no one other one's a copycat? No.
Well, that's a different kind of spell, but it is possible to create such a spell.
No, it's okay. Well, I'll have you focus on the gem for now, if you're willing to help with that.
Well, definitely, for a chance to manipulate such a gem. Now, like I said, I would be willing to provide myself part of the equipment that is necessary for such an attempt in exchange for a few moments inside of the gem. I would love to observe this.
As long as you would promise, as long as you promise not to harm or tamper the people in any way inside, that could be arranged.
What exactly do you consider as tampering?
Doing anything to affect the course of time, people, history, flow, organics, plant matter, world form, life. You get the general. I mean, like, really be an observer. Like, you can observe, just don't interact with the world. Besides what the tasks are asking you to do.
Such a shame. Well, then, in that case, I'd very much appreciate it if you'd let me sit in. Because you will most likely have to remain there for a while.
I will. I think it was, they said like a few hundred, maybe 1,000 years.
Yeah, it said 1,000 years.
Yeah. So yeah, probably around 1,000 years. I will say, this has already been tested. Do not worry. Time does not pass at the same rate out here.
No, I know the theory behind those gems, so I know what they're capable of, and I know exactly the consequence of using them.
Yeah.
I just never had the opportunity to have one. It is a very rare object. And they require material of a annoying level of rarity to make.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know if I ever find another.
I doubt it, but that would be very appreciated. Now then, I'll definitely find it interesting to observe everything you do. Because if you want to make sure that everything goes according to plan, you are aware that you're going to have to watch over everything for the entire period of time.
I am.
That will be interesting to see. A mind 1,000 years old coming back into a body not even 20 years old.
Who knows? Maybe my party will appreciate it.
Well, you are aware that you're going to come back a very different person, yes?
Sure. That's exactly how audience would answer. He'd be like, it's me, I'm me. How much can I change, really?
Well, for one, your perspective of time is going to change drastically.
Yes, but I'm the Time Knight, so that should be fine.
Yes, of course. Well, it can definitely be attempted. I'll start trying to figure out what exactly I need.
Okay. Let me know. I know I already have to find some deep dust and a bunch of deep dust and some more dawn dust. I already have the rest of the stuff we need. Or technically, I don't need to find more dawn dust, but the chances increase with more dawn dust.
Well, if I think I can gather most of the equipment that I need, but it would probably be very appreciated if you could also participate in this gathering effort. I mean...
Yeah, of course.
I'll need a few components that are very useful when you want to open portals into other realms.
Okay. Would they be giant-looking crystal-like things? I saw them at a different mage tower recently. And they seem to create portals.
Well, that's definitely one type of object. Crystals, depending on what they have. Now, I don't know exactly where you found those. I don't know exactly what they did. But here's the annoying elements of crystals. They could have been...
Actually, I do want to say this because I think audience would do this. Audience would start pulling out of his dimensional storage all the random metal components he collected from the wizard's tower last thing and start dumping them out in front of the guy, being like, "Is this any of the stuff?" And just start strewing metal materials across some table. Kind of push some merchandise to the side. The shopkeeper's just looking at me. I'm like, "Yeah, is any of the stuff you need?"
Well, you put a whole lot of stuff in front of both of them, and well, the elven wizard looks at you as you're pulling this, and do you need that? Maybe this. How about this? And you just go, no. Actually, no. You really need. But. That's because I rolled a 1 for his interest in everything you take out of your diamond storage.
Yeah.
However, I did roll also for the shopkeeper. And as you're pulling things, eventually you do hear the shopkeeper say, "Hold on a minute, that beast skin thing that you have over there. I'll buy it for you for 1,000 gold." There's a lot of things we can do with that.
Yeah, sure. I don't even haggle. I don't know how much this is worth. Yeah. Take it. You might have ripped me off. I don't know.
Merchants and are mostly honest inside of the garden.
That's what I felt like. Also, but it's just a wizard stuffed audience. He's like, "Yeah, 1,000 gold? Down. It's all yours. It's a good deal. Damn fine deal."
All right. So, aha. Remy's back. Okay. There you go. So yeah, no, absolutely. He gives you money for a piece of what you brought back. But the elven wizard is not impressed by anything you're taking out, except one thing where he says, "Don't put it." Oh, you already put it on the floor. Maybe be very careful when you put that back into your storage. It will explode if it comes in contact with copper.
Oh. I see. Well, do you want it?
I have nothing to do with this. It's too volatile.
I'll look at the storekeeper. Do you want it?
I mean, it's not as rare as the that you just sold me, but
how about this? How much do you want for all of this? I'll just give him a look at all the stuff. I don't want this. This is just some stuff I took from a high level mage tower. How much do you want for all this stuff? I don't want it.
Make an insight roll.
Sure. That is 16.
16. Okay, that's pretty good. So he's looking through all of this, and there is an element of many he find interesting. Others he recognize that there are components which are a bit more rare to get. But some of them he has no clue exactly what they are or what they're for. So some of them, his honest evaluation will be off. But the rest is pretty good price. So
Okay.
that's up to you. It is, according to him, an honest evaluation he's going to give, but you do
Yeah,
realize that some
audience is okay
elements.
with this.
Okay.
Audience doesn't want this stuff.
Okay, so you rummaged through everything. Okay, well, most of this are things that I can actually easily sell. Some I'll require probably a little bit of analyzing. Um, I can buy the whole thing for 7,250 gold.
Sure, it's yours. Look, it's already laid out for you on your table. There you go.
He looks at you. That's not a table, sir. And you point at two objects that are on the little pedestal that's a bit shorter. That's not a table, sir.
Oh, my bad.
So actually, that's my assistant. He got a weird item from gnomes recently.
He's been transformed into a pedestal through magic.
I get it. I was a couch recently.
Well, you look like a couch, but you don't know how it feels to be a couch. You know, there's a difference there.
Audience just says that.
For some reason, you don't know why. You feel like Taranad would have said something like this. It's a passing thought.
So anyway, what do you need me to gather for you back to the wizard after basically doing the thing where I go here, unload the pile in front of him, get some gold, leave him with it?
Well, I think that I've just seen something very interesting. I'll have to compensate for a low attention span. So, yes, he's talking about you.
Audience debates very hard and decides not to say. I'm sure you know all about compensating for something.
Well, that would be a very gratuitous argument because you're looking at a wizard elf. They're not ostentatious in nature.
No, audience doesn't say it. He just thinks it.
So he says, well, yes, the apparatus that you've seen with crystal, probably something very similar to it, but you did need to have crystals which are not already attuned to something.
I see. So
I feel like what you saw was attuned to something specific, at least according to the report that you gave.
I don't know. I blew it up and created a...
Yes, that's what I mean. You need something that is not attuned because we'll need to attune it to your gem.
Okay, so an apparatus like that, but one that's not attuned.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like in some ways it will be harder to find than one that is already attuned. Because one that is already attuned, all you need to find are crystals from that plane. One that has not been attuned, you either have to find someone who has made the crystals, which is rather rare, or, even rarer, crystal which were attuned to a realm that no longer exists.
Interesting stuff. Well, I have a lot of contacts with merchants, so I can ask if they have any leads, or I'll look around.
All right. Well, if you can find that, I think I can provide most of what is left. I think there is going to be a certain level of improvisation involved in all of this. So I may contact you again to tell you a few elements which have made themselves unavoidable for this endeavor.
Sounds good. And it'll be my pleasure to be working with. I'll hold up my...
Yes.
No, working with. What's your name?
Well, I think in common, the best pronunciation you can have for it is Lofiralis.
Ah, that's why the gnome was calling you Lofi. Makes sense.
Yes. She was calling me Lofi.
I think I'm going to call you Lo.
Yes, that does fit the description I was given of you.
All right, Lo. Well, it's going to be a pleasure working with you.
I hope it will be the same for me. Oh,
All right, I'll let you get back to your shopping, buddy. Go spend that gold, and then I'll leave the leave the shop.
okay. So, all right. Yeah, you know, you got quite a few things that you need to find in order to progress your story along. You need a geode, you need crystals, and the apparatus that goes with it, but crystals that are not attuned to something. I think you also need metal.
Well, the metal, we just need the copper line that we sent
Yeah.
Krill to. We actually know where that is. We just need some of that draconic copper. Which, the garden technically also probably has some, so I could also purchase it, because they had a trade route going, or we can go get some for probably less money from the mine itself.
Yeah.
It would be our third trip to that mines.
Yeah.
Every time we've gone there, there's been an increasingly difficult enemy to fight.
Well, you know, the first time it was just a monster. The second time it's because you discovered something new. Now, you'd need to discover something new again if you want another monster. I can provide that for you if you want.
It's okay.
How about the ghost of the dragon that you're rummaging through?
Me and that dragon are chill. I communed with him. Like we're good.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a dragon who has grown so much in age that he has reached the size of a mountain. That's essentially level 13. Oh yeah, that's right. They don't use those level anymore. A 12 level dragon was considered to be the highest level of dragon you can possibly find. After that, they either die or grow to such size that they no longer fit anywhere. So that was the lore.
All right. Well, that's what audience was doing over those 3 days. So.
Okay.
Or the only important thing.
The important thing. What about the rest of you? You're muted.
Sorry. It's like I was curious about what Jorg might be doing.
Remy is curious about what Jorg is doing? The world
No,
is
I,
ending.
the player, am
Oh,
curious.
okay.
Ramy couldn't give two shits.
So, what is George? What
Unless
is
they're-
George
Why are
doing?
you curious about what?
So,
I
what
don't
is George
know.
doing during those 3 days? Well, 2 days. 2 days and 4 hours.
I'm gonna feed the tiny blob in a jar
Okay.
during that time
Okay.
while I eat. Yeah. So just
So now
stating it
you
out
have
loud,
another
so he
2
doesn't starve.
days, 4 hours, and 55 minutes.
Mhm. Well, that's what I'm doing the whole time.
You just keep
Uh,
feeding him. Does he like beetles? Yes, he likes beetle. Does he like leaves? Yes, he likes leaf.
mhm.
Does he like AAA beef? Yes, he likes AAA beef.
Mm. Oh gosh, I'm going broke. Uh,
So, is there
yeah,
something that
I don't
Jorg
really know
wants
what
to
else to
do?
do.
I don't know. Maybe you. It's really is 3 days, so a grand total of 3 days. So I don't know.
Hmm.
Is there an object that you'd like to have made? Is there research that you want to do? We don't have to role play every second of it, but if you
Uh,
want something to be done, you at least have to tell me.
hmm. I can't find. I've been looking for that potion list that you sent me, and I can't find it.
Oh,
That was a long time ago.
yes.
But I'd like to brew potions.
Okay. Um.
Uh, there's like a whole spread or like a Word document that
Yeah. I think it's this one. I'm not sure.
was this. Oh gosh.
Is this?
Oh, there it is.
I have several sheets. I don't remember which one I sent you. I already found two, so I'm not sure which is the one that I sent you.
Yeah, I found it though. It's just a bunch of different types of
Yeah.
um yeah, I'll send you what potions I'll spend time. I don't want to just
Okay.
read the
So
list while everybody
Jorg
looks at me.
spent 3 days preparing potions.
Finally getting use out of that. I was inspired by those memories. Or was I reminded that I have a potion making kit and I never use it?
Yeah, it's more than a potion making kit. You have an alchemy kit. You can make anything.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
With the kit that you got, you can do not only the potions that I sent you, which are druidic potions, but if you want, you can probably try and do potions that you can find in the Dungeon Master Manual.
Ooh.
Now, granted, they're not druidic potions, so some of them you may not agree with what you have to do in order to make them, but technically, you have everything you need to try and make some of them. All you need is someone to teach you how to do it, and you're in the perfect place to find someone who can teach you how to make a specific potion.
Yeah.
Because everything they sell has been made or collected on your world. So every potion, it's the knowledge that comes from your world, so it's knowledge that they don't mind sharing. They're not giving you something that you're not supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Jorg will be making potions. What about Fisher and Remy?
Yes.
You're muted again.
Sorry, some people walk in here and I have to mute myself so
It's
that
okay.
it doesn't get on. I was just gonna say like if like a fisher would just be practicing sword poses for when his sword's done, but I don't know actually what he wants to do. But
I mean, I would.
You're gonna have to practice the He-Man pose.
Yeah. The only real thing I would do is learn that scroll of whatever it was that Remy gave me. I know what it is. I'm blanking on the name.
No, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna learn that scroll of whatever.
Cliff of Warding.
Glyph of warning. Okay. Okay, that's gonna take
6 hours.
yeah, half a day. Well, no,
Yeah.
most of a useful day. So you'd still have 1 day left. Well, 1 day and 2 hours.
I guess I would go back to the gnomes to check if they had decided how much to pay me for the
The console.
console. Yes.
you're looking for compensation, not consolation.
Yep.
Oh. Right. Okay. You come back to them as the third day starts to unfold, and you find them relatively easily. Quite busy. You see that they're still deconstructing the console, but most of the components are on the table and they're all laid out to you in front of you. And for something that did so many things and it was so complex, you sort of just looking at everything that's on the table. That's all there was inside. I mean, I feel like it could do so much more things than what that would suggest. He looks at you and then, yes, actually, there's no, actually, it's very brilliant. It's what happens when people with low means but a lot of imagination learn to do. You learn to use and reuse things and have things which accomplish several similar things across a wide variety of things. I'm very aware that I just said things so many times in a row, but
So many things and stuff.
But yes, it actually. Oh no, sorry. You're here because you want to know how much. I keep forgetting that most adventurers aren't really interested in knowing the entire story of what's on the table. You really should. It's quite interesting. It helps to see. I'm doing this again. I'm so sorry. All right, so well, there are quite a lot of interesting components. I feel like
Is this something you've seen similar of before?
here or where I'm from.
I guess both.
Here,
More relevant here, but also maybe.
Well, from where I'm from, in museums.
All right.
I mean, at the last few moments of the war, they had to be very resourceful. I would not have liked to live in those moments. It was very much living on the last tick of the clock. But here, yes, there are quite a few valuable components. I've seen other adventurer come with elements like this to create a variety of things, like this one here. And he points toward a weird metal crystal. It has the shape of a crystal, but it's clearly made of metal. Sort of like a bismuth metal. It's sort of a weird shape, but it's also a shape that you're looking at this, and I mean, I feel like I've seen crystal have that square shape also. So it points you toward one of those components that you're not sure where to categorize it. It's very useful, very versatile when you want to create multiple copies of a specific thing, and just print it out, send it out. As far as we can tell, the golem on top of it, there were copies of the golem made, and that's what you actually were fighting. So it was actually a copy, but also exactly the same thing, which is a bit confusing when you think about it, but it's actually not when you start understanding it. So if you had destroyed it, even though this version would have been destroyed, the version which was on the pedestal would still have been intact, and this one would have come back to the pedestal. And it simply would have had to reconstruct it magically and send it back out. Very interesting. Very ingenious. And honestly, I'm impressed. Yes. So for everything, how does 12,575 gold go for you?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, in that case,
12,575.
12,575. Yes. I'll write you a little note, and you can just go ask that person over there, and they'll have enough money with them for you. I mean, they might give you a whole bunch of gem, and you might have to go sell them on the floor below. But I've heard you're stuck here for at least another day, so I think you have time.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very fascinating. It's kind of like watching how things might have been in the past. Well, from my point of view, anyway.
Mm. Did you figure out anything about how it was? So is the golem part, is that a fully functioning, like, separate golem thing that was stuck in this to project it out and kind of make it bigger, or is it not work without the console?
It definitely won't work without the console as it is now, but it is also fully functional. Essentially, it's simply missing the power source, which the console act as. So it is a complete golem. It's just that instead of creating an internal power source, something that feeds itself, and that's why they last so long, that element of it was in the console. So the console was keeping it alive for a very long time. But now that everything has been removed, it will very easily be doable for any of us to simply reintegrate the power inside of the golem, and you'll have a corgi size golem. If you want some, it'll be in the shops.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming having its power source in this thing is also what allowed it to have.
To kind
It
of be
seemed-
immortal, yes.
Yeah. It also seemed like it was stronger than a normal golem would be.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if something this size were to be boosted, I mean, it is already pretty impressive. Although it is about a foot high, it can easily rival with a normal person as it is. So enlarged twice over. You go to go from tiny to small and the small to normal size and then to large size. It creates quite of an impressive strength and resilience. So yes, definitely, it is better than a normal golem once it's been increased.
Yeah.
And that
But
again was the
a power
console.
source that would be small enough to fit inside that thing would make it a teddy bear.
Yes, very strong teddy bear.
Yeah.
Well,
Eh.
maybe not for you, but it could definitely beat your friend Remy in arm wrestling, as it is right now.
I'm familiar. How helpful would be.
Well, it would essentially become a unseen servant that's actually seen.
Yeah. Or what is that other spell? Tiny servant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, as a mage, a familiar is interesting. It's something that would help you.
I already have
Well-
one though. I don't use it much, but
The
About the
moment,
owl.
the moment you're inside of the garden, you'd definitely be able to use it to help you research things. But also, if you want to just shove it inside of audience's space, you'd probably be able to conjure it, and having it do stuff.
mhm.
But without the console, it wouldn't be as immortal.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah. It's clay, right?
Yes.
How huge leap. How hard would it be to make that thing instead of automated, pilotable from the interior for a small worm-like being? Would this vague idea be better suited to perhaps a stone or metal construct?
So essentially, you're
Clay.
making a mecha suit for.
He's so squishy. It's got like 33 hit points.
We need Terry power now.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
What if you
Also, I'd
add
care about it
like
more if it looked
a
more
part
like
of your?
me.
What if you add like a part in your head that's like a little cockpit, and you can put Terry in there, and he can pilot you?
No, nobody pilots me. That's like my number one rule.
Mm,
That's why I almost threw Terran out when I
okay,
first got
you're
him.
lost.
No, but you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the cartoon Robotic.
Mm,
The whole premise of the show is well, there's a story, but what justifies the human pilot is that the machine is sentient and aware, but a pilot can go in and it allows the pilot to use abilities which you wouldn't be able to use normally. So it's inside, it unlocks potential.
If I could stick Terry in me and I'd just get six level
Yeah.
spells. I mean, I'd be kind of cool with that.
yeah. You got the. Maybe he'd like superpower your wizard levels.
um, I'd be more inclined to go with the
Getting-
idea of the golem mech.
Scarily close to Baldur's Gate tadpole
Evangelion.
shenanigans.
Um.
But
I
yeah,
need to play
just
Baldur's
throwing
Gate.
that idea out at this gnome. What is his
I mean,
reaction on plausibility and expense?
well, you know, to make a golem, it's time consuming and expensive. That's why a lot of wizards don't make armies of golems.
Yeah, they're generally like a
Most
few.
wizard, anyways. It is it doable? Yes, I think it's absolutely doable. I think the golem would need to be slightly bigger because if I remember correctly, at least the last time someone took some information about him, Terry was
Not that big.
5 inch long. Yes, he grew an inch since then.
He's grown up. Yeah, a little bigger. Pick up some ass.
So I feel like the golem would need to be a little bigger than it actually is right now. So it would require extensive modification, or it can be done completely anew. You know, creating a golem, which your world know how to do, obviously. So that's not a problem. We could probably take that over and create one for him. The question would be how to create the interaction between him and the golem, because as I remember, he doesn't actually have hands.
Yeah, it would need to be telekinetic.
That would require a
Nature.
little bit more of a little bit more planification, but that's probably doable. Well, like I said, it's probably doable. It's gonna cost, obviously, and you know golems aren't cheap. That little 12,000 that you just that little 15, was it 15 or 12? I already forgot. Anyways,
You said 15, but you only gave me 12.
Do you want to convince him that it's true?
The 9.
9! 16 for him, so... No, I think you didn't count well. You really should count it again. Pretty sure I gave you enough.
Yeah, I was messing with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. More than that. Significantly more than that.
I mean, I can make a little bit of research just to be sure. It's been a while since I made anything like that. Actually, it's kind of a bit frowned upon from where I'm from. Creating unsanctioned golems. But here, I can probably do it, but I'd still have to make a little bit of research because some of the components that we have to deal with on your world are not as
we don't have
potent.
the good stuff.
Yeah. I'd have to check. I'll get back on you on this, but you really have to be prepared for a very steep bill. Unless you want to go hunting for the material yourselves. It's probably doable, but once again, the most abundant material, clay, properly prepared, or coming from an environment which naturally properly prepares it, that probably means you're going to be having to fight a monster that lives in mud and whose magical aura simply seep into the ground. Now, how many monsters do you know have this innate type of aura?
Not a lot.
That's what I mean, yeah. So.
All right.
But it's doable.
I mean, this is a vague idea, so I mean, yeah, if you could look into it a little bit and see how actually feasible it'd be.
All right.
But
I will, definitely. It's a very interesting challenge. It's what it's interesting working with all of you. You keep asking for some things that most of us have never done before. Well,
you're welcome.
With the means we have here. So it requires so much imagination. That's fun. And fortunately, even our worst attempt can't blow up half of the garden. Although Theag does visit us from time to time, saying, "Take it easy." Yeah.
The buzzsaw still flying around?
Nope. It's been integrated in something else.
Here you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We did lose a jar full of dimensional peas, though. So,
as in the plant?
no, just the
The letter?
no, just the little seed inside.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you call them here. Okay. Yeah, they were dried, magically dried, if you get what I mean. So, yeah, if you start hearing, maybe you should duck.
All right. Keep it in mind.
Oh yeah, that's probably should. The reason why we say that is that because they jump, so they just don't naturally float. They move in group and they start jumping, and You'll recognize it when you see it.
Uh-huh. All right. Let me know.
Oh, the golem, yes, not the piece. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else? Okay. Mr. Fisher, you look exhausted. I think you've worn out your battery for today.
I have.
It shows.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Well, what passes as a bed for you, anyway?
I think I might go to the pond. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Don't tell anybody I'm doing that.
Oh.
Remember what happened last time? I'm going to go find a different pond.
Oh, okay.
I don't say that to him. It's just what I'm doing.
Instead, he just looks at you. All right, well,
It's not nearly as peaceful when there's a gnome standing at the edge of the water staring at me.
Oh, don't worry. There's always a gnome staring at you.
Yeah, but I can pretend there isn't.
Thayhag said that we should probably stop doing that, but I mean, you're so fascinating.
She's smart.
Well, you know, she's Thayhag.
And in charge of things.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
All right. I'm gonna start my research immediately. And so, with this, your moment with the gnomes of the research district is over for today. So, I think the only one we don't know what they're doing for the 3 days is Remy. Well, 2 days and 2 hours.
I do actually need to go to bed.
As soon as he tells me what he wants to do.
I mean, my stuff is straightforward, but also not straightforward.
Okay.
It's, over the next few days, Arabia is going to be leaving signs around the garden, letting Guntesh know that he'd like to speak with him.
Okay.
And the second thing is Raimi is going to be doing research into dragon slaying.
Interesting.
And possibly even trying to find materials for a weapon for that purpose.
Interesting. That's gonna go well with audience.
Actually, it'll go great with audience. We already know that we have to at some point deal with the dragon.
We do.
It's definitely a research
Now-
that's doable.
Now, which dragon, Raimi probably won't say, but
Green dragon.
dragons, plural.
Well, one thing you'd know pretty quickly is that weapons of dragon slaying are tied to a single type of dragon. When you make it, it's because you integrate elements of that dragon inside.
Oh,
But with what you know of this world, if you can manage to integrate elements of either sacred dragon or a not sacred dragon, it might create a sword or a dagger that can slay all types of dragon, but that's a kind of material that would be even more rare to find. And there's a chance that some dragon may take it personally.
Which is why, if it's a dagger, he can just put it into a dimensional storage that otherwise is not findable.
Okay. All right. Well, that's easy to do. Anything else you? Oh.
Nope. Those would be the things that he would devote his time to. It's like figuring out whatever materials he might need for that purpose.
Okay.
And again, leaving signs to open up a dialogue in Gantesh, because he doesn't know where Gantesh is, nor does he know if he actually were wandering around looking for him, he would actually find him.
Okay. That will be easy to do. So, I need a golem.
But that interaction, if it does happen over the next couple of days, that would be that could be something saved for next time.
I'm just taking it as a note. So, golem, dragon slaying, and okay. All right. Well,
I'm gonna dip for the night, guys. I will see you.
I was just about to say that was it for tonight. So, have a good night. All right. Because I think that. Yeah. Okay. You just need to rearrange the cameras. Because you go here and you go here. All right. So with this, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Start the music of a campfire. All right. So, next episode, we're probably going to... Well, it's probably going to be conversation with Gantesh, because golem and dragon slaying weapons are long to make, so you may get the information you need, but that's not going to be ready for at the end of that day. So, you're going to have to start deciding what's your next quest. Remy or Jorg or Fisher. You got choices.
Now Remy and Jorg seem to have kind of a intertwined thing starting. Unfortunately for Remy.
Calculating odds of success for a quest that subtracts Jorg from the equation.
So, I'm taking this that you change your mind. You don't want dragon slaying. You want Jorg slaying.
No, Jorg slaying just would work with a regular dagger.
All right. So, we know what we're going to do next episode then. Which means that's it for tonight. So, thank you for watching. Hope you found whatever you were hoping to find by coming here. Entertainment, not being alone, people to hate. I don't know. Like I said, so long as you stay civil in the chat, you're welcome. But I hope you found whatever you were looking for. I hope you had a pleasant, whatever part of the day it is, wherever you are in the world. I hope you'll be there next week. Wednesday is our live broadcast, live campaign. 7:30 Western Coast time. Friday is the rebroadcast, 7:30 Eastern Coast time. And in between, we have world building, map making, with either Canvas of Kings or WonderDraft. 9:30 Eastern Coast time, because that's the coast I live on. So, and if you want to support us, well, you got ample possibilities. We got Twitch, we got Twitter, we got YouTube, we got Patreon, and I have a link for donation. So, take your pick. So long as you stay civil in, if you choose one that you can write comments, go nuts. And if you want to do more, or if you can't do any of those, but you still want to do something, well, simply spreading the word of the channel helps. And I think that's everything I can say. So, like I said, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. See you again next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.